Good morning, team. I hope you're all well. I hope you had an excellent half term and managed to get some really well-deserved rest. This term, we are going to continue revising Language Paper 1 as well as Literature Paper 1, so Macbeth and Frankenstein. Normally, we would be teaching you something different, but because we are patiently waiting for us to return to school, we are going to hold off as much as possible from teaching you new content. It's incredibly challenging to teach you new texts or poetry or a new paper on online and through a screen. So we're going to use this time to revise, enhance, improve our knowledge until we need to teach you new content, or in the better scenario, we can return to school. This week, we're going to primarily focus on your Language Paper 1 assessment that you completed and feedback on that. Today, we're going to look at Macbeth. I just want to kind of continue our study of metre in Macbeth from the week before half term, before moving on to an extensive kind of feedback on Language Paper 1. So, as such, today, like I say, we are focusing on metre, particularly focusing on the metre used by the witches. So could you pause the video and return when you have copied down the title, the date, and the learning objective, please? Okay, if you're back, that means you're ready to complete the do now. Please do so in full sentences. It is absolutely pointless for you to have things in your book that are like one word or two words. They're not useful, they're not good revision. So that's why I always kind of insist on full sentences. So the do now today is recapping structure and meter and everything we looked at before half term. So could you pause the video and complete the do now task, please? Okay, if you're back, that means you're ready to make your purple pen corrections. As always, give it a tick if you got it right. And most importantly, if you got it wrong, correct it. Again, it is useless to have incorrect answers that haven't been corrected in your books. So, iambic pentameter is a line which has a pattern of an unstressed syllable and then a stressed syllable. The noble characters speak in this way, and it's often to reflect their kind of high status, their formality, and how well respected and moral they are. A frame narrative is used in Frankenstein, so a story within a story. And the different perspectives that we are exposed to within that frame narrative allow us to develop alternative interpretations about things that are happening. We hear different perspectives on the situation, so that allows us to question our own perspectives on situations. Pause the video and make the purple pen corrections that you need to now, please. Okay, so let's recap iambic pentameter. So we know that it is a line which has a pattern of an unstressed syllable and then a stressed syllable. And there are 5 iambs, so pairs of syllable in each line of iambic pentameter, meaning that there is a total of 10 syllables, 5 being unstressed, 5 being stressed in a line of iambic pentameter. And it follows the rhythm of a heart beating or a horse galloping. So it sounds like this: da-dum, 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 da-dum. This is a typical line in iambic pentameter, so foul and fair a day I have not seen. And if we were to say it in the rhythm of iambic pentameter, it would sound like this: so foul and fair a day I have not seen. So the iambs in this line are here, 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 and here. So there are 5 iambs, and each iamb is made up of 2 syllables, one being stressed and unstressed. The stressed one being the second in the iamb and being signified here by the bold and underlined writing. So today we are actually going to be introduced to a new type of metric foot. So like I say, an iamb is a pair of syllables where one is unstressed and the next one is stressed. But the new metric foot that we are learning today is called trochee. And now a trochee is also made up of a pair of syllables, but the first one is stressed and the next one is unstressed. So that is the difference here. The first syllable in an I am is unstressed, but the first syllable in a trochee is stressed. And using trochees in a line makes it trochaic tetrameter. So we have iambs in a line of iambic pentameter, and we have trochees in trochaic tetrameter. The difference is where the stress comes in the pair of syllables. Tetra also means four. It comes from the Greek word for four. So together, trochaic tetrameter is a line made up of four trochees, four pairs of syllables. So thinking about that, in a line made up of four trochees, a normal line of trochaic tetrameter, there will be how many stresses? Pause the video and complete this sentence starter in your books now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you've completed the sentence starter. Could you please make sure you have your purple pen so you can make a correction if you need to here? Pause if you need a second to grab it. If not, you should have written down that there will be four stresses. A trochee is made up of two syllables, one being stressed and one being unstressed, which means 8 syllables in total, 4 of them being stressed, 4 of them being unstressed. So please make sure you do have that down. So the rhythm of a line in iambic pentameter sounds like a heart beating or a horse galloping. And that is also the same when we look at trochaic tetrameter. So the kind of rhythm doesn't really change, but where we put the stress does. But it still follows that da-dum, 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 da-dum. So for example, this is a line said by the Witches, and as you can see, the stress is at the beginning of the line. Fair is foul and foul is fair. If we were to say that in rhythm, it would sound something like this. Fair is foul and foul is fair. The emphasis being on the first syllable in the pair of syllables, as opposed to being on the last syllable in iambic pentameter. So this is the comparison. So here at the top we have iambic pentameter. So fair and foul, a day I have not seen. So could you pause the video and say that line out loud with the stress on the correct syllables? Pause and do that now, please. Okay, so you just practiced iambic pentameter and now trochaic tetrameter. Notice how it's the emphasis on the da instead of the dum. Fair is foul and foul is fair. Could you pause the video and say that line out loud in the rhythm, putting the stress on the correct syllable, please? Okay, so now you have practiced saying a line in trochaic tetrameter. What I would like you to do now is copy these below sentences and underline the stressed syllable, remembering that in trochaic tetrameter, the stressed syllable is the first and then followed by an unstressed syllable, so the opposite of an iambic pentameter. And also remember that it is written and said in the same rhythm, da-dum, 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 da-dum. Pause the video, copy these sentences and underline the stressed syllable now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means that you are ready to make your purple pen correction. So make sure you have your purple pen. Pause now if you need a second to grab it. And this is what you should have underlined. So I would always say it in the rhythm, and that will help me indicate where I need to put the stress. So when shall we three meet again? So it will be when shall we three meet again. Then in thunder, lightning, or in rain. In thunder, lightning, or in rain. And then we have eye of newt and toe of frog. So eye of newt and toe of frog. Something's a little bit different. I'm hoping that you've noticed there is an error in a couple of these lines. So if we were to identify the trochees, we would have, let me just grab a different colour. We have 1, 2, 3, and then we are missing the final unstressed syllable. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have that unstressed syllable at the end there. And this one, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, we are missing that final unstressed syllable. There are 7 syllables and there are 8 syllables in this one being a complete line of trochaic tetrameter. So a lot of the witches' lines only have 7 syllables, so they are an incomplete line of trochaic tetrameter. This is known as a catalectic line, so that just simply means that it is an incomplete line of trochaic tetrameter. It is missing that final syllable, the 8th syllable. So why is trochaic tetrameter used by Shakespeare when we look at the witches in particular? So if we compare, iambic pentameter is used by the noble characters and trochaic tetrameter is used by witches. So iambic pentameter is regarded as the natural way to speak. So trochaic tetrameter is. Could you pause the video now and complete that sentence starter, please? Okay, grab your purple pen and you should have written down that iambic pentameter is regarded as a natural way to speak. Trochaic tetrameter is regarded as unnatural. The noble characters are natural, they speak in a natural way. The supernatural, unnatural characters of the witches speak in trochaic tetrameter, so in an unnatural way. So what is the significance of the witches speaking in trochaic tetrameter? What does it reveal about them? Think about the noble characters speaking in iambic pentameter, and then the witches speaking in trochaic tetrameter. What is Shakespeare trying to highlight or emphasize by using a different meter when the witches are speaking? Pause the video and write an explanation to this question in your own words, please. Okay, if you're back, hopefully you've got some ideas down. So the things that I would expect for you to get down is the fact that they are unnatural characters. I would re-emphasize that point. I would also kind of talk about the idea that they are other, they are different. I would also kind of highlight maybe that they are kind of causing chaos, and also it kind of highlights their like disturbing nature, especially when they speak, in that kind of chant-like manner. So pause the video if you need to add any of those kind of green terms into your own answer. Okay, so you should have added anything that you need to that answer. And now, so some of the witches speak in incomplete lines of trochaic tetrameter. And why do you think that it's significant that even the most unnatural speech pattern in trochaic tetrameter is incomplete by the witches. They can't even speak in a full trochaic tetrameter line. What do you think that emphasizes about their character? Could you pause the video and complete that sentence starter now, please? Okay, if you're back, that means that you have completed that line. So you might have just said that it emphasizes all of these ideas here, that they are disturbing, they cause chaos, that highlights that they are unnatural. It can be indicative of the fact that they are kind of like confusing, they lead people astray, all of those things there. So pause the video if you need to make any additional comments, but ultimately it's just emphasizing all of the things that we said here. Okay, so now to round up everything that you have learnt today, I would like you to use all of these words on screen to write a summary. Sorry, that should not say iambic pentameter. It should say trochaic tetrameter. Trochaic tetrameter. So I would like you to use all of these words here. Trochee, stressed, unstressed, heartbeat, opposite, iambic pentameter, noble, and chaos to write a summary of trochaic tetrameter. Obviously here you will use these three to make a definition of trochaic tetrameter. Here, opposite and iambic pentameter, you're going to explore how they are opposites and how they are different. And then also you want to include the noble characters and how they speak, and how the kind of chaotic characters speak. So using all of these words here, pause the video and come back when you have written a summary of trochaic tetrameter, please. Okay, so that means you are ready to submit your work. You should only be submitting your work via email. I miss submissions when you do it on Show My Homework. I've never asked you to do it on Show My Homework, so please don't do it on Show My Homework. Please make sure your email subject looks like this. So for today, it will be English Lesson 1, 23rd of the 2nd, 2021. This makes it easier for me to track your work and also for you to track the work that you've submitted. Hopefully you will also be saving work if you are writing on a computer in this way as well. Pause the video, submit your work, and when you have done, you can X out and move on to your next lesson. Well done, because I know meter is very hard to get your head around. We will continue to revisit it, but I look forward to seeing your notes from today's lesson.